Hello, everybody. My name is John. Call me John. Um, you guys seen me before. If you guys follow us, obviously, same shirt obviously means I've recently gone out of work. Just haven't fully changed. You know. Anyways, my topic today is foster care. I've been always constantly thinking about foster care and my thoughts and memories through my time being in it. And, I wanted to go ahead and share. Uh, before I did this, I constantly was just thinking about it. You know, my brother has passed away a couple years ago, and I don't know if I've shared it in the past, but if you guys follow us, or look through some videos, you will see, I might have spoken of it at some point. But the thing is like, I had thought about it and I realized, it was a great topic to go ahead and share with people, especially like people that are in foster care at the moment or are going into the system. You know, the system is rough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been through over 50 foster homes, and I can't say that all of them were great, or the people that volunteered to do it weren't in a set of mind to do a right thing. A lot of foster parents that go ahead and jump into to the thought of like, hey, I I have experience in foster or in kids, like being a teacher or having their own kids or you know doing daycare, doing the little things that do involve other children other than your own. It don't matter if they're your own or not. You need to understand that when you decide to become a foster parent, you need to know that this is the thing that every foster parent needs to understand that they're getting themselves into. When it comes to a foster child, you need to understand and put yourself into knowing. And I swear to God, like, you need to understand the knowing of the unknowing. Because you honestly do not know what will be coming from that child, where their emotions are, or how they want to react upon being in this new environment. Kids will go off and act up because they know they're not with their own parent. They know they're being separated, because of the emotional feel of that moment of being separated from them and then being driven all the way to you. In a lot of different foster home places. I can't remember the name for it, but like where you go ahead and sign yourself to become a foster parent. A lot of places don't really tell you that what you're going to get yourself into. They just go ahead and say, hey, are you going to go ahead and be willing to go ahead and go by what this piece of paper is going to go ahead and tell you. And then you're going to be like, okay, yeah, I can go ahead and do that. That doesn't seem so harsh. But when you decide to put yourself into that position, it's past that point where you were looking at the paperwork. You're already into that moment that you need to take care of that now. You know, Nobody explains to anybody, any foster parents, that you are literally gonna get into a position that you need to figure out by visualizing of what is going on in the moment. If you already taken care of basis, like, okay, she already got tried to feed her, or he almost, it was tried to fed. You know, we tried to put him in bed, gave him a bottle, you know, rocked him around, you know, let him listen to soothing music, you know, all of that stuff. Or else let them go to the park if they're more older, you know, let them run out the energy, you know, and all that stuff. And you feel that you're on being a reasonable, good foster parent, you know, it's, I have two children of my own. You know, I may not be there too much, but when I'm there, I'm very strict about my things because I had to live my life on my own. Because, like I said, I've been in 50 foster homes in my life, maybe more. Honestly, I feel like it's more, but I just want to go to a reasonable number and just go to 50. You know, none of a lot of them weren't great. You know, I was abused. I had animals attacked me and my brother. You know, by the blooded child of the foster parent. You know, and like the foster parent had no idea. You know, me and my brother literally got put in boiling hot water. She had the hot water running slowly, and she had big pots of boiling water sitting on the stove, and she was pouring in it in the tub where me and my brother were sitting. You know, that is very neglectful. You know, and I'm trying to be open to you guys because if I go ahead and hide stuff or deny stuff, I'm not giving you guys the correct information that you guys truly deserve. You know, like there's a lot of foster parents that, you know, over estimate the fact that, you know, these are children that aren't your blood, you know. But at the same time, when you go ahead and take the responsibility of signing paperwork and saying that you will go ahead and take care of them, you need to take care of them as much as you can. You know, if you need to be goofy to make them smile, be goofy. That's what I do. And I got two boys, and I'm only like 25 years old right now. You know, my oldest is a year and about 3 months, so that's pretty good, you know. Or maybe older, you know, maybe 6 months or something like that. I don't know, Mama. How old is he?
Well, what month are we on right now?
I don't know at the moment because I'm focusing on this
Today is the
subject.
9th of the month, so it'll be 8 months.
Okay, so almost about 2 years old.
So
And
he's almost
you know,
3.
I've done my wrong. I've gone to jail so many times. I've done the wrong. I've learned the street life. Honestly, in my foster life, I barely learned anything in those foster homes other than learning to be open minded and know not to settle. You know, like it sucks because like I like to settle in my own relationship and stuff, and if I can't go ahead and settle, like that makes me feel that I can't do it. But it's because of what I've gone through. You know, I need to go ahead and start learning how to become my own person. But I have, because I have these two wonderful boys that I'm growing with, you know, and I'm building money as much as I'm away from them to take care of my family, hold a place, and you know, if I need to always get another place, then I have the money for it. And not only that, I can always purchase a brand new car if I need to with my payments and blah blah blah. You know, I have the finances that I can go ahead and pursue life. But the thing is life is always a curveball pitched at you. You know, in foster care, you never know if your foster parents are gonna give up on you. You know, and when you finally feel that, you know, like after all the crap that you gave them, you want to try to work things out and try to like ease things up with them, but they already have given you up, you know. And it sucks because you build that connection as much as they had built a slight connection, but they also have felt that they weren't worthy enough to take care of the needs that you wanted to please you while you sat there as a baby cried so much, or a child that had so much energetic that they didn't understand the reasons possibly that they had ADHD. Look at me, for an instance. I had ADHD. I have ADD. Like, I had to be on medications. But you know what? Those medications had fucked me up. Or it screwed me up because it made me seem as a bad person, because at the end of the night all my energy built up that kept me up late, and the parents didn't understand the reasonings. Why would I be up with so much energy? And they didn't understand if they were doing right or wrong. But you know what? Sometimes to medicate a child because you have no idea how to take care of them is not the proper way to go about it. Yes, maybe they have a problem to work out. But you know what? The most proper way to work it out is to try to make them figure it out. Like with my own kids, that's where my siding is. I want to go ahead and guide them into that proper way, because I know medicating is not the proper way. If you get sick and you constantly are medicating yourself to vitamins, extra vitamins and stuff, instead of taking the proper food to give you that natural vitamin, you are most likely to constantly get sick. I have a strong immune system because of that. I constantly stay on positive food. When I know I'm about to get sick or when the season changes, I switch my appetite. My appetite changes because it needs to go ahead and get the vitamins that it's going to go ahead and take care of me through those viruses that go through the air during that season. I need to go ahead and prepare my own immune system to make sure that they can go ahead and be strong enough to fight those things out. You know, things like that is like the things that I had to go ahead and learn on my own. I learned that on my own. I didn't really learn that stuff in school. In school, they showed me so much of history and little things, but they don't really teach you so much about what really you learn in life. Life is such a different lesson that you've learned in school, a different lesson that you learn in college. College go ahead and grasp you to understand the things in life. And I didn't have to take none of that because I learned that through the street. I learned that because I had to go ahead and guide myself because of the foster parents that I had to go through. I learned I learned some things through them. I ain't gonna lie. I learned some things. Some of them weren't positive things, but I learned some things through them. And I had some wonderful parents down the line, you know, and they had more foster kids after me, and they did wonderful with them as well. Now they took citizenship of them, or they are their children of their own now, and they're doing wonderful with them. I went back to some of my foster parents that had done me well, and I keep in contact with them at time to time because they do, like, they were a real effect in my life, and they had guided me into a different passage and showed me differently through all the foster parents that I did go through, you know. Like I said, some of those foster parents that go ahead and want to go ahead and do right, don't jump to it unless you go ahead and double think about it. Like thank God that you want to go ahead and do right, but make sure that you're in the right path of yourself to understand that you are literally gonna lead yourself into the unknown. Because I can't sit here and tell you what they're gonna act upon or how they're gonna behave towards your environment, where you're at. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can go ahead and get two other foster children that I know in my life, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them up on this and let them share their stories about how they felt through their system. I also know one other person that has gone through the system and gone back to their own original father when they were living with their mother in the first place, where we all got taken away from. But at the main part, it's like if we all get taken away from that moment, then we can go ahead and build something great. We just need to make sure that we don't jump to the conclusion that we're going to do better by taking care of a child that needs us. We need to know that we're going to be able to be stable to take care of him. I've thought about myself to take care of foster kids because, like, my thought, because I also had child services show up when I first had my child living under a roof of a wonderful lady and man that, honestly, if they watch this, they won't understand that I'm talking about them, like we lived under their roof, but, obviously we paid our part. But the fact is that, there's, we were living there and these people decided to come up with out our permission and decided to go ahead and verse the true facts. They decided to go ahead and tell us, oh, well, she said that she was coming here, so I tagged along. No. Your system had no idea where our location was, where our children were living under the roof, because we denied to tell you where we lived because we didn't want to have anybody to know where we were living. What is your business to know where we were living? I mean, yes, you know what? There is some people that go ahead and don't have a proper environment for their children to grow up. But you know what? There are certain other people that don't want people to have business to that part. And you know what? If people are respectful, they want to go ahead and pursue that respect for those other people. And you know what? That's what we were doing. But you know what? The system is going cricket now these days. And, some of the things they do, God bless, they do some good things out there, but sometimes, like they do some wrong things and take advantage of where they stand, and this is where that's what happened right there. They decided to go ahead and show up. It's like, oh, well, we're child support, or not child support, or child services. There we go. Child services. And they decided to be nosy. It's like, oh, we just wanted to check up, see this, and I told them, that, you guys are pretty fucked up to show up here because you're completely disrespectful to be coming to this place just because you feel that it may not be a good place. And yes, I've been in foster system, but doesn't mean that you have any right to go ahead and double check that if I'm going to give out a great environment for my kids. Obviously, a lot of foster kids that gone through the system, they want to do better for what they were going through at that time, because a lot of us go ahead and get abused out there, physically, sexually, you know. And that the thing is like when we're in the system, and we get those kind of things constantly in a lot of foster homes, the system ignores what we say. I'm not saying that I did. I'm saying that, I know a lot of other people that have gone through the system, that I've met through the system, going through different foster homes, meeting new foster kids in those homes, that have gone through a lot of wrong. You know, that's pretty messed up. Like, why are you gonna go ahead and take an older child just because she's older and want to go ahead and take advantage of her when your wife's gone or something like that? That's not correct. I had to see things like that, but you know what? When it came to my word, nobody wanted to hear it, and it sucked. You know, and then when they hear you out, it's like, oh well, they constantly say stuff like that. in other places. But it's like, who's gonna listen to the child that's in the system compared to the person that's wanting to take care of them? You know, nobody wants to go through all of that, but you know what? There's a lot of people that do a lot of right out there. I know a lot of foster parents that split or that because of situations like that in my care. You know, they filed for divorce and stuff. And it's because, you know, the man noticed that the wife wasn't treating us the proper way while he was off at work. And when he came back, he realized that, you know what, things weren't seeming good here at his home. He felt the negative energy from us, and he saw how more distant we wanted to be from them because we didn't want to feel more abused in a sense, you know. When that happened, and I heard about that, it opened my eyes because I was like, I always knew that person was very good. It was its partner that was always messed up. The partner was always the one that was doing the wrong. And when they realized that, they always ended up becoming a split people, divorce or just a broken up couple. And they went their own separate ways because they didn't want to have any problem to do with it because they know that their time was occupied on obviously taking care of the finances for the home while she was there taking care of the children, foster children. And, you know, constantly being moved to different homes, it really tears up a child. You know, it makes a child feel like, what am I even here for? Like, I should end my life. Like, I shouldn't be here anymore. Nobody cares for me. Nobody wants to even stand me. They always push me off to another home. You know, like I said, I'm 25 years old and I have 2 boys. You know, a lot of wrong went through my life, and you know, my relationships in life. You know, I wish I could fix or at least talk to the person to correct things. Not even to be with them, but you know, it's just to correct the past because you know we only live this life once. When a foster child always is being pushed around to different homes, they realize that, you know, like, hey, like, I guess I'm not good enough for nobody. Like, not even for a set of parents or one parent, you know, like, they just push me off because they don't realize, you know, children are going to be kids. You know, when you go ahead and tell a child, hey, stop being childish, like, it's a child. How can you tell a child not to be childish? Like, let him have fun. Let her have fun. Like, that is the moment of being a kid. You know, you taking that away from them, that's being a bad parent. Because you're taking away the goodness of what they have at that time. You know, there's always a certain timing to go ahead. You know, if you want to go ahead and teach your child at an early age, do it. But don't do it at their little child moments where they have, like, till 5 years old. I feel that from 5 years old, that's where you really start teaching them real good. You know, but if they're like 3 years old or 4, at least 4, that's where you should start really like starting to teach them and start sliding them over to a different time. You know, foster parents don't do none of that. foster parents go ahead and take him in. They go ahead, hey, this is what you gotta do. Go to bed at this time. Here's your meal. Go to school. Go to this class, to this after school program. You know, like they send them to all these other things, other than sending them to understand how a family is supposed to work, how family trips and good times should go. You know, being in foster care, I never really got much of that, other than when I got into this foster home where she decided to take our care in a sense. You know, she decided to take us and move us from away from the system and in her own payment without uh, really having us adopted. Um, the system allowed it to happen, and you know what? It was the greatest time. You know, she wasn't getting paid anymore and anything. Like, she did it on her own well-being without a force of her being adopting us as making us as her own children. You know, which was amazing. You know, we had our own free will of being our own bloodline and lead our own way. You know, but she gave us a different type of life to enjoy, and I thank her so much. You know, like, she's done so great with us, and you know, we gave her a lot of problems. You know, she had cried, she had smoked packs of cigarettes more because of us. You know, we gave her a lot of stress. But the thing is when you become a foster parent as well, you need to know that you're gonna go through a lot. And taking in a new child that's not yours, are you willing to go ahead and treat them as your own? Do them right, not hurt them, and realize that, you know what, one day they may go, but you want them to know that they left you in a good, positive note. Not that, you know what, that it was too much for you and you had to give up on it. You know, especially when it's a baby and they constantly cry. You know what, at that moment you understand that, you know what, a baby at that point is crying a lot because they already know the connection, the vibe of the parent. So when they're missing the mother, they're gonna miss the mother. They know the vibe from the mother. They're gonna not know. They know that your vibe is completely different from it. So when you try to do whatever you can for them, they're still gonna cry. But you gotta understand that you did the best, and you gotta just sit there and work your way through it. You know, because a lot of kids go out there and realize that, you know, well, I guess I wasn't good enough because I had to go through all these foster homes. And you know what? I've talked to a lot of psychiatrists and people, and I told them a little bit of the story that I'm telling you, like literally a little bit. Like, I literally just put them in little categories, little slight categories, not compared to what I have been opening up to you guys. But you know, they told me to go ahead and let everybody know, foster parents, foster children, you know, people that are feeling down in the system, you know, like, if you're a parent or a child, you know, you gotta understand, you know, you could be in the worst position. You know, I've ran away. I've had to duck and dodge cop cars searching for me with their spotlights. I took off in woods, you know, and made them search for me. They never found me because I was sitting there watching them, obviously. But anyway, beyond that, the thing is, it's like, I care to give this knowledge to all you foster parents and children out there, because the passage of that is rough. And now comes the second part that I wanted to share about that. When you're in the system and you grow out and your foster parents have kicked you out at 17 years old, you leave your life out there and realize that, you know what, you get locked out with everything. You don't have no help from the government. You're stuck out there. You have nothing. You know, some foster kids sit there and say, you know what, the system helped me get into community college. Some system got me into a university to go ahead and pay for my classes and stuff. It's like, wow. You know, I wish I had that, but you know what? I don't. I have none of that. You know, I'm a kid that got taken away at the time where the system was, oh well, he's not legal in this state. Let's put him through the system because we don't know what to do. You know, when the system was more proper, more caring for children. Now these days, the system go ahead and put them into little children prisons for them to take care of one another, and you know, it sucks out there. You know, I don't like how it looks out there right now because a lot of them go ahead and suffer, and you know, parents are sitting there wondering how are their kids doing, and you know what, they ain't doing so well there. You know, it's like, how can we go ahead and treat our own kind that way? You know, how can we treat our own environment in such negativity that we're going to go ahead and be the reasoning of our own extinction? You know, those are the problems in this world. We need to start realizing the little things in this place. We need to understand that, you know, relationships and the little things all become more than one, but at the end it becomes that one. But more than one is meaning the one out. But when I come and say that in that one, obviously no, all those ones is that one. But you guys never need to give up. I don't give up. I've lost the only person that I've cared a lot in my life, and that was my brother. You know, he was in the system with me. I fucked up the system on purpose, on my own passage sometimes, just so I can get to him. And I did it. I sure did. You know, sometimes you shouldn't separate relatives because, you know, that's the only thing that's going to fuel them to guide themselves to do better in that system. And, you know, when my brother went, it was upsetting because that was the only one that we both could have talked to. You know, at times I sit there and I feel that, you know, at the moment that he wanted to speak to me and I walked away, it was the time that we needed to take care of good things with this place.